Trey. Yeah, he's already invited.
Okay, we're going to hear from our race winner. That's Jeff Gordon. He's the driver of the number 24 AARP member Advantages Chevrolet for Hendrick Motorsports. This is Jeff's 93rd win in his NASCAR Sprint Cup Series career, his 9th win at Martinsville, and probably more importantly, he will now be competing for his 5th NASCAR Sprint Cup Series championship here in a few weeks at Homestead Miami Speedway. Jeff Gordon, congratulations. Talk about this win here today.
I'm telling you, I keep going through these moments of where I'm hearing you say it, and it's not registering because I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I mean, this is turning into one of these just incredible storybook finishes to this year, to this career, and of all years. I mean, of all years, I cannot believe this is, and I'm so excited that's happening in this year. That was clutch. That was huge. Yeah, we had a few things that fell in our favor, but you got to be there and be ready for that moment when it comes, and we were. Our car was pretty solid all day, and our restarts are pretty good, and we fought through some things, and our car was good on the long runs. We were having to make some adjustments there, but we still had to go battle. I mean, Jamie's real aggressive on those restarts, and Kyle and some other guys there, and we had to battle it out with them, and man, it was tough, but gosh, this feels amazing. It feels amazing to be able to go to Homestead and go battle for that championship.
We'll take questions now for Jeff Gordon. We'll start over here to the far right. Where's our mic runners? Right over here, the gentleman to the far right. Then we'll go to Dustin, and then to Steve.
Aaron Burns with Speed Sport. Jeff, first off, congratulations on your victory. You've mentioned in the past several times that although you've won 4 championships, you don't think that you've ever won a Sprint Cup championship. Now that you're in the position to actually do that, would you, if you were able to do it, would that make that the most memorable and most important championship of your career?
Yeah, I was going to stop Kerry when he was talking about 5th championship and say exactly that. You mean go for my first Sprint Cup championship. And I truly do feel that way. I mean, the format's changed completely. The trophy's completely different. The banquet's completely different. The competitors are completely different. Everything's changed since I won a championship. And that it only makes it that much more meaningful to me that it's been this long, that it's in this format. I will say I like this format. Last year I liked it, and I like it better this year. I think it suits me personally. I think it suits our race team better, and it's because of this racetrack right here that I feel that way, because this is a track that if we get here, and we had to still earn our way to this round, and we did, but I knew if we got here we'd have a shot at not only just having a chance of winning, but even getting the points that we needed to advance and go do it over the next couple weeks. So this was huge. And that's a huge moment and opportunity, and trust me, we're not going to take that lightly, that opportunity that lies in front of us. This is not just okay, cool, we won Martinsville, now we get to go be one of those 4 at Homestead. We're just going to watch them all go battle for the championship. No way. This team is way better than that, and nobody's more driven and excited than this race team is right now, and every resource that we have we'll be putting towards what we have to do to go be competitive enough to win the championship at Homestead.
Let's go up here front row to Dustin, then we'll go to Steve Richards.
Dustin Long, NBC Sports. Jeff, you've enjoyed the thundering crowd at Indianapolis, the crowds at Daytona, and throughout your career after wins. But what was that like to be up on stage with this crowd? I'm sure it was even different from any of the other wins, and why you went into the crowd there at the end.
I mean, gosh, I wish everybody could experience what that was like from my standpoint. It was unbelievable. I don't know what it feels like to be a rock star, but that's as close as it can get, I think, because that's a rock star moment right there when there's so much on the line. I already have a tremendous amount of fans that are here pulling for us. But I think a lot of people that maybe aren't my fans are kind of looking at, my career and the respect and just winding it down and what it means, and then to go do that and pull. I was going to do a burnout. I thought about it, and I was like, okay, first I'm going to stop here and get out and get the checkered flag. And then I saw that reaction. I was like, I'm not going anywhere. This is awesome. It was incredible. And they didn't stop there. I mean, they just kept going. That's why I went into the stands afterwards, because it just was nonstop while we were there in Victory Lane. People just staying there. They had to. Who knew if we were going to run this race today with the weather and then it getting dark? And they saw a heck of a race, that's for sure. If they wanted drama, they had it today. And they just kept chanting the whole time while we were on the stage, and it was just way cool, and I wanted to go say hi to them.
Let's go to Steve Richards and then Bob Pockers.
Steve Richards with PRN. Jeff. Like Steve Post, I can yell. Steve Richards with PRN. Along those same lines that Dustin asked you, what were your thoughts in the car when you saw the checkered flag on your cool-down lap? What were you thinking? What were your thoughts?
There was so much screaming and yelling going on from my spotter and Alan and myself that it was just unreal. It was just unreal, and I mean that, unreal. I couldn't believe it. I just thought that this could not be happening. It's not that unusual for us to win a Martinsville race. That's not what I'm talking about. It's to be able to do it when so much is at stake, and when you know that this is how you get to Homestead, to be one of those Final Four, and for us to be a team that nobody had picked to be able to make it to Homestead. I love that we just keep proving them wrong and finding a way to move on, and I think that hopefully when we're at Homestead, people will give us a little bit more respect of what kind of depth our race team has.
So was this an upset today?
Well, yeah. Look, if Martinsville, you can't ever count us out at Martinsville. But I got to tell you, the 2 and the 22 and the 4, whew, man, they were strong today. Stronger than I thought they were going to be. Like the 22, I knew he was good on short runs, but I felt like, man, we have him covered on the long runs. In the first run, we did that. But they made some adjustments, and he was really good. Then the 2, I was saving my stuff and running my line and just doing what I felt like I needed to do, and my car was working pretty well. And he just came up and smoked me and blew me off, and I was like, wow. So at that point, we became an underdog. But you know what? You got to be there at the end to win these races, especially here at Martinsville. And they weren't there. We were, for whatever reason. We were, and they weren't, and here we are. And it wasn't given to us, I can tell you that, but we certainly had some help. And that would not be the first time I've had help winning a race at Martinsville. That's kind of how races go sometimes.
Go to the front row to Bob and then Jim.
Bob Pockers, ESPN. What were you thinking when you saw what Matt did to Joey? And bottom line, is this just always going to be a self-policing sport when it gets down to it?
Well, I wasn't ready for it, I'll be honest. I saw, because when the way I remembered the wreck, I thought that 2 got into the 20. I couldn't quite see what the 22's role played in it, but as soon as I went by it, and I thought, wow, did I just see that? I also put myself, in Matt's shoes, and I could relate. I could relate to frustration getting the best of you. I didn't blow a right front tire like he did today. But I can relate, and I get it, and you might have some regrets later, but I understand why you make that choice at the moment, I think there's a lot of different things that you can look at it, because I feel like what you say and how you do it and things that you do come full circle, and that exists on both sides of that, and I can relate to being on both sides of it. So yeah, I was shocked at first because I wasn't prepared for that to happen, and then I was like, oh my, this is going to get big. And then there was no fight. Yeah, it helped me. I mean, the 22, I felt like we had a better car than him on the longer runs, but we weren't going to have a long enough run towards the end of this race, in my opinion, to really take advantage of that. So, yeah, I thought when that happened, I was like, this is our opportunity right here to win this race. Boom, we got to go do it.
Let's go to Jim Utter and then to Jenna.
JimUtterMotorsport.com. Jeff, you've said many times over the course of the season with everything that has transpired that you wished at times that your fans had more moments from the on-track performance to enjoy. Does today kind of
This makes up for all that.
Just
I mean, don't get me. Nobody is more frustrated than if you turn on the TV and you're watching a racing show or the radio. I listen to NASCAR on Sirius and stuff, and nothing's more frustrating than when people call in and say, "This is not, if Jeff Gordon doesn't win this year, it's going to tarnish his career, and he's got to get a win. He's going to have to win to make the chase or to make the Homestead and all this stuff." And I hear it. I agree. I felt like if we didn't win this year, it was going to take away from it a little bit. I felt like if we points raced our way into Homestead, that would help make up for it if we didn't win. But I feel like if you're going to win the championship, you almost have to win this year, not just here, but at Homestead. So I'm hoping we got one more in us.
Let's go to Jenna, and then we'll go over to the Barry.
Jennifer, AP, I know you talked about how maybe you guys are underdogs, but you're very good at Homestead. Do you think that people now have to fear you?
Well, listen, why can't we win at Homestead? That's what I say. I mean, I think a lot of people didn't think we could do this, and we have, and there's no reason why we can't do it there as well. And I agree with you. I like Homestead. It's a good track for us. We were better last year, and we dominated that race, I know, but we were better last year on the mile and a half than we are this year. There's no secret about that. I think it's a little bit on us and a little bit of our competitors just being better. And you don't just flip a switch and automatically just find some magic. But we've been working on a lot of things. We've been getting better. We showed it at Chicago, and we're going to go to Texas, and we're going to have to step up there as well. And I think it's an abrasive track at Texas. It's an abrasive track at Homestead. That suits us, and that helps. I think that helps a lot with where we're at on mile and a halves. But I'm still going to tell you that our team is making up for that, and I absolutely think that we're just as capable as anybody else that's going to be in that Final Four.
Let's go to Barry over to the far right, then we'll go to Brant James.
Barry Richmond, Piedmont Broadcasting Corporation. Jeff, compare this win to your first win at Charlotte. And the second thing, have you talked to Clay about that ninth train car?
Oh, yeah, he already said he's getting me the caboose. And I asked him also to include the horn. I need the horn. The train's not the same without the horn. Yeah. I mean, this is one of the finest moments I think I've ever had in my career. I'll be honest. It's just because of what this year means, and that this is my final year, my final race at Martinsville, punching our ticket to Homestead, having my family here, the hard work this team is put together, that reaction from the fans. This is one of my finest moments I've ever had. Not my most emotional one. I held that back. And I've been holding it back, and I'm not going to be able to hold it back at Homestead. But I hope it's because we're doing something even more special than what we did here today.
Let's go over here to far left, Brant James, and then we'll go to gentleman right here. Go ahead.
Brant James, USA Today Sports. Did you allow yourself through the season to think about how this kind of sort of storybook thing is possible? Because not a lot of athletes get to go out with the kind of opportunity that you have now.
No, I wasn't allowing myself to go there, and I didn't want to allow myself to go there coming into Martinsville because I knew we were going to have our work cut out for us today. We saw that earlier this year, and I knew we were going to see it again today, and we did, and I just wanted to hopefully seize that moment and then just experience it to the fullest, and I did. I'm going to continue that all the way through Homestead, and I'm going to need a lot of these goodies powders after Homestead. I can tell you that. But yeah, this is incredible. It is absolutely incredible. This whole year has been. I don't know. I can't even put it into words because I made the announcement. I was super emotional about it, and then we went to work, and we were getting our butts kicked, and we weren't competing the way that we wanted to. And I was like, man, this is not the way I thought I saw this season going, that I was hoping that it would go. And I had to check myself, and I'm so proud of Alan Gustafson. He put me in check. That guy works so hard. He's one of the best crew chiefs I've ever worked with, and he's like, I'm working too hard to let this slip away from us, and it almost did, and that brought us back together as a team, as a driver, crew chief, in that communication, and we started going to work then, and we started getting better and better, just ever so slightly every single weekend as a race team, and from that point on, I thought, man, the season's not over. Anything can happen. Let's get ourselves in the chase. We got ourselves in the chase, and then went to Chicago, and that changed everything for me. To run at Chicago the way we ran there, to lead laps and have a fast race car, even though it didn't finish the way I wanted it to, that turned it around for me to go, wait a minute. They're not even thinking that we're on the radar, and we are. We're more than people think. Not only are we capable of being very consistent, but I think we can run better than people think we can too. And we've proved it the last now 7 weeks.
Earlier in the season, did you have a points finish number in your head where you thought, if I go out like that, I can be proud of it?
I mean, at first, I don't want to set my goals too low, but because being in the top 16, but there was a point where we weren't going to make the chase, or almost, we were close to not making the chase, and I thought at that point, man, I just want to make the chase. I think it'd be that trip to Chicago is really special, to interact with that group of drivers. It's not easy to do, so that's kind of where it started. But again, when we ran as good as we did at Chicago, I was like, wait a minute, all right, I'd like to see us advance to the next round. And we advanced to the next round, and each time you just kind of reset your goals. But I didn't have any preconceived mindset of what I wanted to do. I just wanted to be competitive, and that's what was frustrating. I wasn't competitive. Not the tracks I felt like we should have been, and the ones we weren't capitalizing on it. And so this makes up for a lot of that. I can tell you that.
Over here, far left, go to this gentleman, and then I believe you had a question, Mike Embry, and then that might wrap it up.
Zacatan's already front stretch. Obviously, you had your kids in victory lane. It's not the first time that's happened, but this is a big win. How was that for you, and did they really get a sense of how big a win this was for you with all the emotions and all the people screaming and everything?
I mean, I hope that one day Leo remembers this. I think back to when I was 5, and I remember some special moments, but I don't remember a whole lot when I was 5 of things like this. But my daughter, she gets it. I mean, she made a comment to me, my teacher said she never started watching racing until I came into her class. So, she's going to go to school, and people are going to probably say they saw her on TV, or that how'd the race go, or whatever it may be. And she gets to talk about this moment, and we get to talk about it all the way home. And so that's very special. And Ingrid, I love her so much. She, she so badly wants to see us succeed and be a part of a championship celebration, and she's never experienced that, and I can just tell she's really excited and proud, and we wanted to go to Homestead. We got a lot of people coming to Homestead regardless of what was happening with the championship. We had a tremendous amount of people come to Homestead just to celebrate with us what this career has meant, and we've been making a lot of plans, so it's pretty cool now, to see that we're going to get a chance to go there and actually compete for the championship. And she's been through all those tough times we've been through this year. She's been right. I think the wives sometimes it's tougher on them because they don't have much control on what goes on, and it eats them up inside when things aren't going the way that you feel like they're capable of, or she feels like they are. And whether you're a crew chief's wife or a driver's wife or a pit crew member, whatever it may be, or husband, it's tough because you're sitting there trying to support them, but you can't really contribute or do anything other than just support them. And to know she supported me the way she has, and to see that smile on her face today was awesome.
Go to this gentleman here and finish with Mike Embry.
Charles Work, Star News. I talked to you Friday. You said that your core fans are right here. Did you feel them today?
Well, I told you I had an event on Thursday night, and saw a bunch of them. And there were more here today than I thought there were. I mean, it was unbelievable. I mean, all weekend long, lots of autographs and pictures, and I could tell, the heightened sense. And even a lot of fans tell me, this is my last race. This is the last chance I'm going to get to see you. I mean, I felt like I was dying or something, because the comments that were asked, I'm not dying. I'll be back. I don't know. I'm not coming to any more races if you're not here. But to know the kind of support I have around here and to reward them with that was awesome. It's a great feeling.
Final question, Mike Embry.
Mike Embry, USA Today. Even if you hadn't made the chase, if you hadn't won a race, if you'd been 40th in points or something, Homestead was going to be a zoo. Now it's going to be probably out of control.
It was already out of control. Now it's really going to be out of control. Thanks, Mike. I was enjoying this moment right here.
Do you think you're going to have to sort of readjust your thinking going into that week?
I'm just thinking now that the track and NASCAR might actually allow me to have all those people there. Yeah, it's going to adjust and change things. What's cool, and this is what I love about this format, and this is very cool about winning this race. I thought about Joey Logano when he won at Charlotte. It's just how you can plan, ahead for the next couple weeks. And there's nothing cooler than winning the first race in this round, to know you're going to Homestead, so you can think about it, you can plan for it, and you can adjust your schedule accordingly. And I'm going to be 100% focused. Yeah, I got a lot of people coming there, but it's all about the pre-planning. But I'm 100% focused to go there and do what I got to do with this race team. And I can't wait to get to work on that. I know when I get back on my phone, the things I'm going to be texting and emailing with Alan and the engineers already just from today. But I can't wait to get in that meeting on Tuesday and start working on that. But I'll be working with my own personal team, at JG Inc. and John Edwards and those folks to make sure that we got everything squared away to make that week enjoyable, but yet very serious about this championship. I can tell that the budget just changed for her, I think. She's going to go add a few things. The banquet dress might change, because doesn't this mean now that we actually have to go to the banquet or stay there?
Yes.
Yes, and she can throw better. It can't get any better than the one we got that we're going to throw. But this I don't know. The sub race can forget it. I'm not even going to talk about it. It's going to be fun. Cool. Thank you,
Jeff Gordon. Congratulations. We'll see you next week at Texas, and we'll definitely see you at Phoenix and Homestead, Miami.
Thank you. Thank you. Awesome.
Before we do the Twitter chat, we do have inspection. All cars have cleared at track inspection. Take 3 cars back to Concord to the R&D Center. The race winner, the 24, the second place car, the 1, and the Ram.